captain of the ship possesses a strong hold over his nerves, both emotionally and psychologically. It looks insane to put your life at risk while coping with the sky-high waves that arise from nowhere to wash your soul off at any moment.
Ooh, watch out! Get down! Get down!
It demands enormous courage and passion to pursue such breathtaking adventures. Let's experience such adventures in the worst weather on Deadliest Catch.
Yeah, we got some big seas here, but
A gigantic wave seems to be rushing towards the ship in the heart of the ocean. It seems to get stuck in a wretched storm. The captain of the ship remains astonished to see a heaven-kissing wave ready to attack his ship. He tries his best to hold the wheel in order to escape the deadly strike of the sky-high wave. One can always expect this kind of miserable weather while pursuing sea ventures. Crab fishing is just a child's play, but only in games. The reality is altogether different from what we expect it to be. It is just like a war between the sea and the crew. The huge waves coming unexpectedly hold the supreme power in this battle, while on the other hand, the crew plays the survivor's role, hoping to obtain their desired outcomes. The captain looks out of the glass screen while leaning over in his cabin. He notices some damage occurred to the bow of the ship.
Damn! What am I supposed to do?
He gets worried about noticing a crack in their ship. He apprehends that something has hit their ship when one of his crew members asks him about the matter. He hopes to get rid of the upcoming threat by managing the gear of the ship. All they need is to be focused so that they cannot lose their attention to the mighty waves. These waves are proving to be the hostile enemy for them, as the Northwest has already been blown by the massive hit, and it has the potential of hitting 10 can by just a single hit. The waves are so high and powerful that their ship seems to ascend the high waves while trying to find a way out of the situation. In this situation, when the waves are striking so magnificently, the only key to survival is to strike back against them. This is the sole way to escape, or else the waves will take away the ship with its powerful flow. So one has to order and manipulate the waves to keep oneself going towards the goal. Suddenly, Sig, the captain, yells with his eyes wide open to see a sky-high wave attacking the ship. He shouts at his crew members to get down in order to escape the brutal attack of the waves. He is well aware of the danger a 35-foot wave can cause to them. Although he is in the wheelhouse and not on the deck where the danger is at its peak, he still considers it necessary to have safety precautions to avoid any damage. His fear of the waves is quite normal and clearly understandable, as he has been witnessing the upcoming threat. Meanwhile, the situation and fear of the people on the deck are beyond imagination, as they have to face the waves directly upon themselves. The most tragic element in this scenario is that the captain in the wheelhouse finds himself the most helpless creature as he sees the deadly waves attacking them, but he cannot yell loud enough to alert the other crew members on the deck to get down to prevent themselves from any damage.
Took a shot there.
Suddenly, two 40-foot high waves hit the ship, almost swiping it along. They wail in dismay while calling God for help. The waves are so magnificent that they need to count the crew members to ensure they are safe on the deck. The captain from the wheelhouse asks if he can do anything in that critical situation. Another wave with the same energy and power strikes the ship again, even before they can manage themselves to stand up. The captain at the wheel is panicking to see the mighty waves capsizing the ship and the men on the deck. He tells the crewmen about the waves striking their ship when he inquires about the matter. Nick, one of the crew members, pronounces it to be the most horrible experience he has ever gone through in his entire career. Meanwhile, another crew member says that Mikey, Nick, and Brandon were swimming as a result of that mighty hit. After a while, the captain descends the stairs to the interior room, where he meets one of his crew members.
Is it on this line?
No, it's down there.
So they're both going down.
Yeah.
So when we said it was clear, we weren't clear.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was clear. I don't know.
He yells at the captain, who tries to calm him down, who is telling him that he can do something to escape the weather. The captain assures him that he considers their safety as his prior responsibility, and that he will never pardon himself if any damage occurs to anyone among the crew. The captain deserves the most respect, as he does not sit in the wheelhouse idly, but he is responsible for making quick decisions to make their mission going along with the prime responsibility of saving the lives of his crewmen. Though he doesn't indulge in physical labor like the ones at the deck, he remains in a constant war, both psychologically and emotionally. There is another horrific venture that shows the supremacy of the ocean despite the desperate efforts of the captain. Wild Bill, the captain, contacts the harbor master at Summer Bay to ask if they can go over and tie up from there. The harbor master informs him about the sudden weather change in the last couple of hours. They still consider it possible to get the ship to the harbor. He decides to go for the Summer Bay to offload his jag of crabs. He has to end his season and offload the crabs a few miles from St. Paul's Island. The weather is so harsh and stormy that it does not permit him to reach even there smoothly. He has to face a lot more difficulties on the way. Bill has never been so desperate to end a season like he does for this one, as it seems to be pretty dangerous to reach Summer Bay. The ship is continuously tossing amid the furious sea, while the seagulls seem to hover over their heads. He presses the lever to advance in the monstrous waves. He hopes to get to his destination by breaking through the waves. Suddenly, he notices gigantic waves rushing towards them. He yells at his crew to look out. He shouts at them to leave the deck so that the mighty waves would not wash them away along with them. The crew members rush inside. The wave has attacked the ship so powerfully that it seems to be drowning. The possibilities of reaching the bay alive seem to be vanishing. They might have reached there alive, but they would have been badly injured. The danger alarm begins to beep, and the Summer Bay harbor master establishes contact with him. He informs the master that he has to abort the mission. He bows down before the wrathful sea and accepts his defeat. His primary motive is to survive and reach the bay alive, as it is better to end a season being alive than being injured or dead. Another huge wave strikes the ship, which makes the crew members pound with the walls. They fall one upon the other, and the ship is completely turned over at that point. Bill tells the harbor master that it is so dangerous for them over there. At this point, it has reached so close to the harbor, but as soon as the ship turns around, it becomes parallel to the forthcoming wave. The wave almost sweeps the ship away to make them almost upside down. It feels like experiencing Titanic all over again. They are fortunate that they have started faster and right on time. Moreover, the wave is not powerful enough to swipe them much farther, or else it would prove to be a wretched experience of their lives. The producer asks Bill to get the ship out of the surf zone, as they have not come out of the danger completely. He keeps the ship moving across the striking waves, making its way through the sea. He considers at this point that they are safe. Meanwhile, the harbor master inquires about their progress. He informs him that they are waiting for the pounding waves to settle down so that they can advance further. The harbor master expresses his joy over knowing that they are safe. He further informs him that he is closing the harbor for the day for their sake. Meanwhile, the crewmen rest for a while before reaching the harbor. They are shaking along with the shaking ship. Bill thanks the harbor master for his concern and cooperation. Throughout this survival venture, the massive respect goes to the captain, who does not let the ordeal conquer over his nerves. He has been the calmest person on the ship despite the psychological war he has gone through. He has done a wonderful job that an ordinary man cannot even imagine. The ship contains no more than a mess on it, but it seems to be quite unimportant, as they have come across death so closely that their survival is absolutely a miracle. Captain Bill has faced defeat, and the sea has clearly shown him its supremacy over man's little efforts. He, along with his crew, are fortunate enough to survive the tremendous strikes of huge waves to serve a special purpose, which is to tell the tale of their gloriously adventurous voyage. The water reaches even the ceiling of the ship, destroying everything in and around the wheelhouse. Everything turns into a complete mess. Captain Bill considers it an experience that can be remembered for years. He mentions a similar experience that he had at Opie season when things got much worse. The crewmen begin to clean the deck by gathering the mess scattered around. No one on Summer Bay will ever forget the huge ship that almost capsized. Another insane adventure is experienced by Captain Keith, who is holding the wheel cautiously on the Wizard. He pronounces the weather to be nasty for his ship. He notices a big wave coming towards them, followed by an even bigger one. One of his crewmen shouts to keep going. The weather is absolutely fierce for them as they are surrounded by big waves all around, and they are so enthusiastic to keep their mission going that they do not care about the weather. They are keeping their eyes focused on their target, regardless of the approaching danger. They are all ready to face the storm by staying alert towards the heaven-kissing waves, which is a good thing to carry out any voyage. He explains the mighty waves to be formed by the mixing of the compound seas, which makes the waves so huge and high to jump in from nowhere in order to increase their ordeal. However, they are advancing slowly but carefully over the wrathful waves. The weather is turning dicey and dangerous despite their safety precautions. They might have taken the weather prediction and planned accordingly to accomplish their mission, but the weather does not permit them to pursue their mission according to their plan and desire. He apprehends to find 20 or 25 spots in 36 to 38 hours. Meanwhile, there is an announcement to reach the first spot. He orders everyone to take their position to roll, and all his crewmen respond with the same enthusiastic passion. On his cue, they drop the empty crab pots in the water, which comes up with a huge amount of crabs in them. They have hunted 415 crabs in their first attempt. They begin to howl in happiness. They continue to drop the empty pots that come up loaded with crabs. Keith himself shouts in victory as he is pursuing his mission successfully. Things are happening in their favor as they are hunting crabs in loads, but their fortune does not last long when another huge wave rushes towards them. Keith announces the approaching danger from the wheelhouse and informs his crew to hold themselves. The mighty wave strikes the ship and ends up washing away almost everything on the deck. Freddie, one of his crewmen, leans over his knee when the waves go back. Everybody rushes towards him to check his knee. Keith also gets worried about him. He inquires from the wheelhouse about his injury. He observes that Freddie does not look well as he leans down on his knees time and again, showing that he is in sheer pain. Although Keith has informed them right on time, the waves are so powerful that all of them cannot hold their grip. Fortunately, the waves have not washed them along and thrown them overboard, but they have some serious injuries. Freddie, for instance, gets his knee injured when a huge wave slams him to one end of the ship. Keith can notice a limp in his walk clearly. Freddie tells him that his leg is good when Keith inquires about his leg. Despite the limp in his walk, he carries out his mission so courageously and enthusiastically that nobody can leave the deck, or else it will affect the workflow and their mission. Keith considers it a dire need for Freddie to take some rest. He pronounces that he is unable to leave the chair. For 6 to 7 hours straight, being a captain, he has to watch out and inform the upcoming threat to his crew, who is his responsibility, while working on the deck. He announces a quick 30 minutes long break for the deckhands and then an hour-long break afterward. He gets up from his chair and goes inside, where he finds Freddie eating his meal. He inquires about his leg and advances to examine his injury. Freddie tells him that it is only a tickle that he feels in his leg. Keith, however, insists on examining the injury just to ensure his well-being. Freddie tells him that he felt pain only when he got his leg slammed. He is satisfied with examining his knee, as it could have been much worse. Though all these ventures show a deadly tussle between man and the ocean, however, man's love for pursuing his dreams cannot be vanished. The challenges draw out the real strength that lies hidden in him. Subscribe to the channel for more such videos.